When all hell breaks loose, people need to defend themselves and get out of harm's way. A bunker isn't gonna cut it. It's just an underground death trap. You've got to stay mobile. That's where we come in. My son and I build custom vehicles called bug-out trucks. Whether it's a terrorist attack, a natural disaster, or a government takeover, you need to be tougher than the danger ahead. We build bug-out trucks so regular Joes can protect themselves and their families. Is that what you had in mind?
Wow.
We're the best in the business because we live by only one rule. When danger strikes, you've got to strike back. So a man comes in with his wife looking for us to build him a bug-out truck.
We came down here to get some help. We're preppers, but I'm nervous about just how well prepared we are. As a husband and a father, my primary job is to provide and protect my family in everyday scenarios and in worst-case scenarios. We just want to make sure that we're prepared if anything happens, when something happens, because it's inevitable. My fear is economic collapse and the anarchy that would ensue, leaving a wasteland of desperate people doing desperate things. I need a bug-out truck that'll get my family and I to safety. I'm doing what every good husband and father should do.
Ryan is a great provider for me and our 3 kids. We love our boys, and we would do anything we can to protect them.
This is Zach.
Nice to meet you.
So Ryan's thinking the right way. He wants to stay mobile, and he wants to defend himself. Okay, so you're looking for a bug-out truck. What's on your mind, and what is it we need to accomplish for you?
We live in a very suburban environment, so it definitely makes sense to get to some place of more natural resources.
I'm proud to be part of this business. My dad cares about people, and I've watched him for years, listen to people's concerns and try and solve them.
So what kind of terrain are we going to see from where you're starting and where you're going?
Marshy areas, mud pits, wet climate, roads, no roads.
As far as weaponry on this vehicle, what are you looking for?
Big, right? We need to make that statement. We need to make sure that people know it's about business.
But it has to be safe because we have kids in the car.
Okay.
Is there anything on this vehicle that you would add to the wish list?
I want a quad on the roof. When I suggested putting a quad on the roof, I could tell that they thought I was bat crazy. Quad on the roof, like something that I can hop on.
The problem with putting an all-terrain four-wheeler on the roof is the roof can't support it. You're talking 300-plus pounds.
I really want to see a recon vehicle on this.
I love a challenge.
Jeff and Zach are great. They know what I want. Let's hope they can deliver.
All right, Zach, we got a smart enough guy here. He's got a ton of good ideas.
Yeah.
We've got to have something that's big enough. He's got a big family.
I'm thinking crew cab pickup or some kind of SUV then.
Zach grew up in my shop. As a kid, I taught him everything he knows. Now I get to learn from him. It's gonna be a real truck. Big, sturdy, stout, beastly machine.
Definitely domestic then. Fuel injected and straight axle.
What's that leave us?
Suburban.
Go find me a Suburban.
Suburbans are actually really common vehicles, so they're pretty easy to find. I picked one up in good working condition for $4,000. Sink another 30 or 40 grand into this thing, we should be able to make Ryan and Tina one hell of a survival truck.
All right, so here's what I come up with. Now, the terrain this guy's bugging out to is incredibly punishing. A stock truck is not gonna make it. We gotta put a full-body exoskeleton in this thing.
I like that.
We're gonna start at the bumpers. We'll use 1.5-inch tubing. We're gonna follow all the body lines of the fenders. We're gonna have to tie it into the frame, across the rear. I'll work with Aaron on that.
Got it.
An exoskeleton is essentially a roll cage built around the outside of the vehicle. It protects the body of the vehicle. It just gives you a first line of protection.
I'm gonna need a roof rack on there to carry jerry cans for fuel.
Okay.
And then we can build a pair of custom 12-foot ramps to get the quad up and down. I think the quad on the roof is a great idea because it's gonna give you basically 2 vehicles in one.
To address the low visibility and potentially wet circumstances, here's a twist. I want to see if a drone helicopter will work for this application. When you're approaching something and you don't know what's around the corner, you can launch this thing, fly over, and see what's awaiting you.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay, lastly, we need this truck to look menacing. I want a fully automatic machine gun on the roof of this thing. I'm talking the my gun is bigger than your gun kind of thing.
What are you thinking about paint?
This guy does not want to hide. He wants to get noticed. Thinking probably black truck with a yellow cage. All right, let's go. The exoskeleton is the structural foundation for everything that we're going to do to this truck. That's why we have to start with it first. 55 degrees? Yeah, okay.
Well, this is a pipe bender.
and it does exactly that. It bends pipe. You can have different dies to bend different sizes of pipe. You take the pipe, slide it through the followers, and it guides against the die. Then you got the foot pedal here, push pressure. That moves the ram out, which moves the arm, which bends the pipe around the die. This one I got to take to 35 degrees. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so I'm over there. I'm trying to figure out what we got to cut next. I hear Aaron in the background.
Oh,
I don't know what's gone on. I can see it on his face. I know something's wrong.
I'm sorry, dude. I grabbed the wrong pipe and put it in there and broke the die.
How the f do you break a pipe bender? We've got to get a replacement die for a pipe bender, which is not easy to come by. It is a very specialized part. We could be down for weeks. We got Ryan and Tina coming down here to see this thing for the very first time. You guys want to take this thing out, put it in action, see what it does?
Hell yeah, I do.
Are you kidding me?
What happened?
Um,
Okay, the problem's simple. Aaron snapped the part in the pipe bender that you wrap the pipe around to get the specific bit. Without that part, which is called the die, the machine is completely useless. How the f do you break a pipe bender? We're gonna have to change things around. We're gonna send the Suburban out for paint now. You need to find something to do and try not to break anything.
got it.
We really have no options. All I can do is try and pull some favors and find a new die for this bender.
I'm meeting Mike down here, and he's the weapons expert, so he's going to help me choose what we're going to put on the Suburban.
What's up, Zach? You ready for some weapons testing?
Yes, sir. The decision is between a 30 caliber and a 50 caliber machine gun.
Here's what we got. The 30 here is a lot like the 50. The 50 is just an expanded version of the 30. So we've already got you loaded, ready.
All right, man.
Well, you've got the 30. It's an accurate weapon, but it's not as powerful as the 50. All right, well, let's move over to the big brass now.
Awesome.
So the 30 would get the job done in most circumstances, but the 50 is a lot bigger and it's a lot more intimidating. So if there is a bad situation, most people are just going to turn and run from the bigger gun. I think we found our gun, man.
This is an anti-aircraft weapon. It weighs 85 pounds. It packs enough power to tear the roof right off this truck. These guys better be building one hell of an exoskeleton to stabilize the vehicle.
Well, we're checking out this drone, and we thought we'd see how it'd work out in a bug-out situation.
One of Ryan's biggest concerns is surveillance. Some of the terrain he's going to be bugging out through is pretty rugged, so we're going to see if a drone's appropriate for him. Watch yourself.
All right, on. I love the fact that the drone has a camera in the front and one pointing straight down, so you could observe conditions ahead of you or below you as you're flying over. Whoa, nice, man.
The thing has pretty amazing control.
There you go. Yeah, this might actually work out. Hey, dude.
You got a boogie hanging.
I picked the 50 caliber, and we need to get it attached to the truck somehow. With this gun, it has two handles on the back, so you can rotate and fire. The gun is going to sit in the top of this carriage. On the bottom of this carriage, there's a pintle. And the pintle is going to go right into that socket. You can pivot it 360 degrees while you're firing it. All the forces of the recoil are going to be focused right here at the base of the socket, so if I don't figure out a good way to mount it, it could just rip right off the truck. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to build the bracket, attach the socket to it, and then weld the bracket into the exoskeleton of the truck. First step is to cut it halfway through with the bandsaw to make our bending process a lot easier. The box-shaped bracket is going to be a lot stronger than just a flat plate mounted on top of the exoskeleton. I'm going to weld the gussets on, and it's going to make the box stronger than it ever was. And that's it. Basically, all we need now is get this mounted to the bracket and then get the whole assembly on the truck.
Okay, so lucky for Aaron, I managed to save his ass on this thing.
Are you kidding me?
I found a shop a few hours away that agreed to lend us their dive until we can get a new one shipped in next month.
This is the first bar of the exoskeleton. It's a windshield bar. It's the most complex. It has all the compound bends. See all the bends. This runs down the rocker, the fender. See how it fits. This is my main upright. I can build off of this. Fender bar here.
So we got the upright bars done. Now we're able to work our way forward and across the front. Yeah, that's perfect, man. Weld this thing together, and I think we can get started on the other side.
Take her up.
Okay, need a bunch of hands.
I brought in extra help to assemble this thing because it is heavy.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, go.
All right, all the way up.
Look at this.
Back, people, you gotta swing through that way. We're gonna grab the roof of this thing, set it on, bolt it in place. Everybody try and line up your plates. We gotta get this thing right.
Is that close?
No. We've been killing ourselves on this thing, but this is a huge build. We are just not where we need to be.
Oh, boy.
No, 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 no.
Hopefully this is gonna work.
Check it out real quick.
We're gonna put an access hatch front and center of the vehicle so you can jump out and get to the weapon quickly. So we're thinking, if we get an old sunroof, we can improvise and make a hatch.
Yeah! We're gonna make a redneck convertible, man.
Marion's plan is to cut it off and take the whole thing back to the shop and just figure it out from there.
There we go. Yeehaw!
What we have to do to get started is actually find the sunroof assembly.
All right, let's start ripping and tearing.
All right.
We just got the headliner out, and this is the motor. This drives the glass in and out.
Voila, man. There's our hole.
We couldn't recreate the seal if we didn't use that exact hole.
Well, I'm using an air saw so it won't heat up the metal. And I don't want to rip up the metal because this thing's already painted and ready to go. There's a hole.
Once Marion got the hole cut in, I brought in the assembly and we started installing it. Yeah, just catch it as it comes through.
All right, goes this way.
Back to the back, front to the front.
Yeah. Black to blue, red to white, bud.
Got it.
It's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work.
All right, that should be it.
Fire it up. There we go. We got a hatch.
Awesome.
We got a lot left to do. We got to get the exoskeleton painted. We need to get the exoskeleton installed on the truck. All right, you guys tilt. Okay, over the tire. We need to get the quad on the roof. We need to get the gun on the roof and everything else that goes on this thing and get it done and on the road. We got Ryan and Tina coming down here to see this thing for the very first time. It's always a tense process. We're curious how they're going to respond. There's a tremendous amount of energy that goes into creating these vehicles, and we're hoping that what we've done is exactly what these folks have had in mind.
All right, I'll be honest with you, I'm really anxious. You know, we need this thing really badly. I'm very excited to see if they actually pulled this off. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at this truck. This thing's absolutely unreal. That is insane.
So cool.
Is it a little bit more than you anticipated?
It is.
Yes.
It's a lot more than I anticipated.
Right on. We know you were going to go through some punishing terrain with this thing, so we built you the most prominent exoskeleton that we could possibly manage to stick on a Suburban. It had to be big, it had to be tough, and it had to hold a ton of weight.
I love the yellow.
Something else we did, we replaced your windshield with bulletproof glass to help keep you guys safe, and we lifted the suspension 6 inches so you won't get stuck in rough terrain.
Wow. Wow.
You had mentioned you wanted a gun, some type of firepower, so
That's a gun.
that is a gun. That is a 50 caliber Browning M2. I don't know that we're going to find a bigger gun to put on the roof of an automobile. You can cut down a building with that gun.
So this is our own personal tank.
Absolutely. Up top, you've got your fuel cans, the spare tire, the shovel, the axe, the high lift, conveniently located just behind the roof access. You stand up on the console inside, and there you go. You got access to the gun from the front and all your gear from the back.
That is awesome.
All right, man, you wanted a quad. You wanted a quad on the roof. Never seen that, never done that. But I think we accomplished the goal. What you got is some folding aluminum ramps that drop off the back. You got a 3,500-pound synthetic rope winch on the top of this thing.
I see the quad on the roof. I can't believe it. They actually pulled this off.
All right, man, let me show you what we got in the back of this thing. You were looking for some secure storage for the weapons and things because you got kids you're carrying around. Obviously, we don't want them getting their hands on handguns. So in the back doors of this thing, you'll see that we've got place for the 9, place for the 45,
That's
and then a
perfect.
handful of magazines in the back, but nobody can get to them unless they have a key, and out of sight, out of mind.
Nice.
That is fantastic.
Down here, you're gonna find things like your basic gear, all your ammo cans, you're gonna have the freeze-dried food.
That is awesome.
This little creature is the drone helicopter.
Whoa.
Now this thing has got forward and down-facing HD cameras, and it's controlled off the iPad in the front of the vehicle. So whenever you want to know what's around the corner, launch this thing out the roof and it'll tell you. That's a
That's
really
fantastic.
cool, efficient little thing.
This thing's absolutely perfect. I'm totally impressed with their abilities. They exceeded every expectation that I possibly had.
You guys want to take this thing out, put it in action, see what it does?
Hell yeah, I do.
Let's do it.
I set up a nasty scenario. It could be a little dicey for them.
I knew I was going to get to test the truck, but I didn't think that they were going to be testing me as well.
With Mike's background in survival training, we leave it in his hands to train the new owner how to operate their vehicle.
All right, guys, road ends here.
Oh, this is about to get exciting.
They've been hard at it. He's had him get the quad off the roof, and figuring this thing out for the first time is not easy. Stop, 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 stop. He's had him out doing recon with Ryan on the quad. They've been beating this truck up through all types of terrain. Dry, wet, mud. And just like any real-life situation, he's leaving it up to them to figure it out.
I'm stuck.
Bumper to bumper, they've tested pretty much all of the bells and whistles we put on this truck.
All right, bring it up a little bit more. Perfect.
Mike set up one final drill for him, and it's a big one.
I set up a nasty scenario. Ryan, Tina, you got 2 hostiles behind this car. They are firing at you. I want you to neutralize him.
My objective with this scenario is to create a barricade with hostiles firing at our bug-out truck so that they can use a 50 caliber to clear the roadway.
Tina, open that hatch, stand on the console, put your hands on that gun.
When she grabbed a hold of an anti-aircraft weapon, I could see she was a little intimidated at first.
All right, Tina, put the rounds on the pause, slam it shut. Left hand on the vertical handle, right hand on the charging handle, rack it once, and you're hot.
She grabbed the butterflies and laid it on them.
When I started firing the gun, it was awesome. It was like an adrenaline rush.
Neutralize them, is what I said. They got on the gun, they neutralized them.
Nice shooting.
I know.
Well, what do you guys think? I think it's incredible. This thing's awesome. If all hell breaks loose, I now know I have the vehicle to protect my family.
Ryan and Tina were truly grateful. They feel safe. They feel that their kids are safe. I really think we got a home run on this one.
That was awesome.
I can't believe how hot you looked up there with that 50 cal. You blew the shit out of that car.